You've heard about that spending bill being rushed through Congress to keep the government running, right? Well, there's a hidden provision in it that could change everything for the coming administration's efforts to drain the swamp. Let's talk about it. Yo, welcome back, guys. Glad to have you here. Yo, what do you guys think about this spending bill? Should Congress have the ability to block investigations into themselves? And then what about this pay raise they snuck in? Is it fair for them to have their pay raised with inflation while nobody else does? Yo, you guys let me know in the comments. We got a little video to break down. Let us know what's going on, yo. Yo, guys, if you like the content, please like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell. I appreciate you guys. Let's get back into it.
Not even 24 hours after congressional leaders released a 1,500-page bill that would keep the government funded for the next 3 months, the threat of a shutdown at the end of this week is back. Republicans in Congress are being pressured by the president-elect and vice president-elect to block the bill. On social media, Mr. Trump said Congress should instead pass a streamlined spending bill, and he told Republicans to get smart and tough. Congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins has been following the latest.
Is that not obvious? Is that not duh? Yeah, streamline the spending bill. What's up with all of these omnibus bills, dude? Like, no, I'm tired of all that, dude. Like, that's over with, man. Yeah, streamline it down. Dude, and stop sneaking all this extra stuff in. How is that such a weird idea? What the heck?
So, Lisa, 3 days until government funding runs out. What's the deal with this bill? How much jeopardy is this facing?
We joked last night about deja vu, but I want to tell you that today has been extraordinary, and the stakes here are very high. This bill is now really on the verge. In fact, you can pretty much say this bill is falling apart, and it's being taken off the table by Republicans.
Hell yeah. Thank God. I wanted to hear her say that, guys, because you're going to see how they're ignoring exactly why it's being taken off the table by Republicans. They're going to try to present Republicans as being belligerent, immature, but we're going to see exactly why this bill is being taken off the table.
Now, I want to explain a little bit about why. There are a host of issues that Republicans don't like in it, that the money for disaster relief is not paid for is one, that it would include some cost of living raises for members of Congress. Also, it would exempt members of Congress from Obamacare. There's also...
She's ignoring the biggest point. She's letting you know the talking points. She's strawmanning the argument is what she's doing. This is a logical fallacy. What she's engaging in is a logical fallacy. She's strawmanning the argument is what's going on right now. And they're trying to ignore it because they want to gloss over the real issue. This is what the media does.
Also money for seasonal and migrant workers who are here legally, but some Republicans don't like it. But overall, there's a process concern here. They say they weren't consulted. They didn't have...
That's not true. That's not. Some Republicans don't like legal seasonal migrant workers. That's not true at all, man. That's another straw man argument. No one, I have yet to hear somebody in the Republican Party who's against legal immigration, okay? Man, the Republican Party has moved left on a lot of issues. Abortion, immigration, dude, since the 80s, man. They try to present, I'm sorry, the right has moved left on a lot of issues, the Republican Party, right? And they try to present us as though we've been entrenched into fascism. It's not true at all, guys. Don't buy into those games, man.
Have enough time. So I'll show you what's been happening today from members of Congress across a wide spectrum of members. Now, if you look at this, Chip Roy, Republican, known as a conservative, he wrote vote no. Nicole Maliotakis from New York, I'll be voting no. She's more moderate. Then we've got Representative Golden of Maine. He will be voting against it. He is a Democrat. So really almost the entire spectrum here saying they had a problem with this bill. It is a political disaster for Speaker Mike Johnson. And another factor here is that Trump is speaking out, but that came after an important figure in the Trump world, Elon Musk, tweeted out that he was against it. So what we're...
Dude, Trump being against it has nothing to do with Elon Musk. Yo, the way they're trying to frame this as though the Republican Party is some monolith, dude. That's so crazy. Yo, they simultaneously are like, there is no group that's a monolith. To treat a group like it's a monolith is disrespectful and culturally insensitive. While they try to pretend at the same time, subconsciously, while like every group is a monolith, they try to pretend that their own Democrat base is a monolith and that there's some massive consensus while they ignore their populist base. They try to pretend like Republicans are some monolith fascist regime when that's not true at all. Republicans are actually a big tent and have a ton of disagreement and enjoy disagreeing with each other and having discussions. Dude, it's crazy, man. It's wild, dude. They try to pretend like the black voters are a monolith, right? Like Kamala Harris's cheap, cheesy, attempt to try to sway the black vote in the 2024 campaign. Dude, it's pathetic. It's ridiculous. They're always straw manning. They're always oversimplifying. They're always bringing things down into a false dichotomy, man. These manipulation tactics, it's like when you pair them up and you see how many manipulation tactics they stack on top of each other to try to even look like they're making some sort of cohesive argument, it's like, man, yo, are you even being honest? Like how is this not on purpose? Either you are heavily brainwashed and very confused and being used by somebody who's being dishonest, or you must be dishonest yourself. That's what goes through my head when I see stuff like this, because not 1 minute, not 1 second did she mention this. A provision added to the 1,547-page continuing resolution spending bill would allow for Congress to block subpoenas for House data, including emails, which would block any investigation into the January 6th committee and all the testimony they ignored, all the testimony they omitted from the report, and everything they did to try to frame J6 as some sort of insurrection riot, when in reality, in my opinion, it was a Fedsurrection. So, dude, this whole blocking and investigation into Congress, that's not the only thing they're doing, man. And just in case you're worried that it's just a hearsay, a rumor, right? It's not. Right here in the continuation bill itself, upon motion made promptly by a House officer or provider for a House office, a court of competent jurisdiction shall quash or modify any legal process directed to the provider for a House office if compliance with the legal process would require disclosure of House data of the House office. Are you kidding me? Shall quash or modify. So basically, we can cooperate with you how we want to and if we want to, and if it involves anything to do with our data, we can just straight up say no. Really? We're going to let them do that? We're going to let them do that right before we jump in this new administration and really try to take these people to task for the laws that they have violated and the treason that they have engaged in? Hell no, man. Hell no. Absolutely. And it's great to see some Democrats even getting on the populist bandwagon and blocking it too. But here's the other thing. That's not the only load of bull that's in that spending bill. So this lady over here is trying to present Republicans as some sort of model. Oh, Republicans, Donald Trump saw Elon Musk saying something. Now Donald Trump's got to say something. It's ridiculous, dude. They're projecting their own extended adolescence onto their opposition right now. There's way more in this bill, man. I wanted to go down here specifically. There's a bunch of, this is CBS. They try to whatever, dude. Look, this is the most important thing to me that CBS has got on offer. Everything up here is as transparency in ticket and hotel prices. They're focusing on, out of the 1,547 pages, they found like the 9 most benevolent things to try to list here. But then at the bottom, they stuck this. I guess they thought people would be into this, all right? Yo, we all know it's the military using these drones. We know that, we went over this yesterday, they're more than likely looking for dirty bombs because nuclear material just went missing in New Jersey. Not only that, there's been nuclear material that's been supposedly designated for the U.S. that's been missing since the 80s. We went over all this yesterday. Check out the truth about the New Jersey drones. They're looking for, it's the Pentagon working with military and aerospace contractors looking for dirty bombs in New Jersey. I'm sure of that myself personally. That's my opinion. So for them to be out here in the media and using this military action and as an excuse to try to regulate out civilian drone use. Oh my God, it's so dishonest, bro. Look at this in the spending bill. Addressing drone threats. Another provision in the bill would counter threats from drones following a slew of mysterious drone sightings in the East Coast that have prompted concern. We went over this yesterday. It's contractors working for the military trying to protect us from terrorists that might have snuck in nuclear material out and might be building a dirty bomb. That's what's going on right now. The legislation would extend to a portion of Homeland Security Act that authorizes officials to track unmanned aircrafts and disrupt their control. Except they're talking about SUV-sized drones. I bet you those are manned. So, I mean, what are you talking about unmanned aircrafts anyway? Literally, they're just trying to now use another thing to control the civilian population again. That's what that is right there, right? And then the pay raise, not to mention the freaking pay raise. Congress sneaks a pay raise for itself into spending bill as Americans struggle to make ends meet. Oh, no, you guys get to have your massive $247,000 a year salary, but we gotta sit here struggling for penance, right? Man, they get paid so much to gut our country out and hand it over to special interest. Are you joking with me, man? What a joke, dude. What a joke. Members of Congress are slated to receive a pay raise for the first time in 15 years. Oh, because y'all haven't been making enough. And I don't buy that at all, because I remember just a couple years ago hearing about them putting in a provision to have their pay match with inflation. Maybe they didn't call it a raise at that time, 15 years of the massive spending bill released by House leaders Tuesday evening passes both chambers and is signing the law. Why is this put in there? Yo, I feel like somebody put this in there to try to bribe the rest of Congress to pass this thing. Like, yo, if you pass this, we're going to have some money for you, okay? Don't worry, man. If you pass this, you're going to be taken care of. This 1,547-page bill, known as Continuing Resolution, contains language allowing for the cost of living adjustment, which would give members of Congress a pay raise for the first time since 2009. I don't believe you. This pay increase for Congress comes as many lawmakers and constituents are struggling to make ends meet. Lawmakers are struggling to... Shut the fuck... Dude, shut your mouth. I don't want to hear it. You're lying your face off right now. Lawmakers are struggling to make ends meet. Are you kidding me? Should we pull up their stock investment portfolio right now? You're joking right now. This pay increase for Congress comes as many constituents are struggling to make ends meet as inflation has skyrocketed under President Joe Biden's administration. Lawmakers currently earn a base salary of $147,000 a year. They're struggling so hard, bro. They're struggling so hard with their $147,000 a year, man. You're joking, man. You're joking. Annually, with members in leadership receiving a higher salary. If Biden signs a CR into law, members of Congress receive a maximum salary increase of $6,600 due to a 2025 COLA of 3.8% increase, according to a press release from Maine Democratic Rep Jared Gold said on Wednesday. The Maine Democrat is notably opposing the CR over the pay raise language in the bill. Congress should be working to raise Americans' wages and lower their health care costs, not seeking new member perks into a must-pass legislation behind closed doors. Yeah, seriously, man. Yo, when you got a Democrat coming out and saying this, because you know how hard they try to force all the Democrats to toe the party line, right? And you know how hard they try to quash any level of populism as it rises in the Democrat Party, right? And so to have Democrats coming out and saying this, yo, I'm hoping that everything in the Republican Party, right, gives populist Democrats, right, the Bernie Sanders Democrats, the permission to step up and take their party away from the elites, man, right? Because you got the libertarians out here, you got the populists on the right making their moves, right, pushing people on the right. Yo, do your thing on the left, man. Push these people out on the left because that's going to help us de-radicalize, right? All the people on the left, just like the right, they're really tense and they're radicalized and they're pissed because they're tired of the upper classes and the ruling classes tearing us apart, right? And they don't really know what to do about it, and they might be confused, right? And we might disagree with how they're going about doing it, right? But if they see that Bernie Sanders populist base take over their own party, it will help them feel a level of relief that we are feeling in our party right now, and that will allow and open the door up for a constructive dialogue. So guys, man, yo, get these neocons out of your party, man, so we can have a real conversation without these mother effers up here trying to control things, dude. Seriously, man. The pay raise is just an adjustment to lawmakers' base salary for 2025. It does not take into account every adjustment prescribed since 2009. Yeah, right, exactly. Does not take into every adjustment. That is not a pay. It's not a pay raise. Look, they're getting more money, but it's not a pay raise, okay? According to analysis from Congressional Research Service, if lawmakers had not routinely blocked language prohibiting their salary from increasing with COLAs and annual spending bills, their 2024 base salary would be $243,000, according to CRS. If members of Congress had received every adjustment prescribed by ECI formula since 1992 and the statutory limitation regarding the percentage-based pay increase for GS employees remained unchanged, the 2024 salary would be at $243,000. Why are lawmakers passing these provisions for their own pay and not trying to address the macroeconomic factors that are causing people's pay to not keep up with inflation out in their constituent base? Okay, dude, that is ridiculous. Okay, that is insane, dude. First off, we need to replace minimum wage with healthy economic management of our macroeconomic factors. Okay, minimum wage is a great way to prevent sociopaths from taking advantage of people, right? But it does not help our economy. Setting a minimum wage and then allowing everyone to just fall to a minimum wage as the fair rate for which to pay an entry-level employee is not sustainable economically. It drives inflation. So there has to be a culture where we are incentivized to pay people above minimum wage because their work is that valuable, right? If we, dude, you can't have government. Things have to be voluntary. If things aren't voluntary, stagnation occurs and then decay. So things have to be if we have government forcing everybody to be fair, nobody's going to want to be fair, and everyone's going to hate fairness because it's the government forcing them to do it. So it's all got to be voluntary, guys. Voluntarism. I'm a libertarian voluntarist. So that's a very big thing of mine, dude. Force causes resistance. Resistance creates tension. Tension is what everything. It's everything we're dealing with here. You know what I mean? Let's see. In addition, Republican lawmakers have also pledged to vote against the CR, citing the pay increase. Okay, so they don't like the pay increase. Thank God they don't like the pay increase. Yo, House Republicans, and this is all they're trying to present it as. This is so irritating. House Republicans revolt over GOP-backed spending bill to avoid shutdown. This is how they try to present us, right? We have legitimate concerns, from the pay increase to the drone regulation to now you can't investigate Congress. We have genuine concerns, right? And they're going to ignore all of that to try to present us as being some sort of immature, belligerent, expression of extended adolescence, man. House Speaker Mike Johnson scrapped the last-minute measure to avoid government shutdown after facing opposition from fellow Republicans, including President-elect Donald Trump, who objected to the billions of dollars in the spending bill that had been added to the bill. Lawmakers are facing a Friday deadline to approve the new spending bill. The measure released Tuesday would have extended funding through March 14th, but it also included disaster aid, healthcare policy extenders, and a pay raise for members of Congress, among other provisions. Oh man. Well, the things that are most important to us, to them, are just among other provisions, right? The disaster relief portion of the bill alone carried a 110 House Majority Leader. Okay, you get what I'm saying, right? There is no new agreement right now. Look, they're gonna look at the media glossing over everything that matters. Glossing over everything that matters, trying to give us something else to care about. Oh, why don't you be upset about this? Because this is not as big of a deal, so you won't feel as bad when we actually end up passing it. Yo, I'm tired of it, man. And my opinion is we need to end these omnibus spending bills, man. How about this? Ridding Congress of riders. The case for a single subject amendment. It is no secret that Americans are upset with their political system. Congress approval rate is disheartening low, and the bitter partisan divide that continues to fracture American society hampers any meaningful compromise or reform. So the question arises, how can Americans improve their political system to ensure that the government is accurately representing the desires of citizens? Most Americans rightly condemn the rampant government waste and pork barrel spending, but few realize a simple solution would eliminate the rider amendments altogether, and those unrelated provisions tacked onto bills and omnibus federal legislation that squander taxpayer money corrode the legislative process and reduce government transparency. Non-germane provisions on the bills, commonly called riders, are amendments added to legislation that do not relate to the subject of the bill and generally cannot pass on their own merits. Just like everything we focused on, not what they were trying to focus on in the articles we were covering, everything we focused on. You get what I'm saying? In the 1994 article, appropriations riders. Oh man, so it's been going on forever, man. This is a joke. This neoliberal corporatist crap is a joke. And yo, it's time to get something done. This is the moment to get something done about it. Legally, lawfully, peacefully. This is that moment, guys. We're finally at that moment. Appropriations writers William and Mary law professor Neil Devens defines riders as non-germane amendments that change existing law, impose additional duties on government, or require judgments and determinations not otherwise required by law. Devens also notes later in her article that no constitutional regulation currently exists to keep Congress from using such amendments, though many have argued that riders, especially adding them to appropriations bills, neutralizes the president's veto power. Congress must pass appropriations bills to function, leaving such legislation particularly vulnerable to the addition of unrelated provisions. Guys, this is a real thing, man. This is a real thing. And the solution is single payer. I'm not single payer. Oh my God. Single issue bills, dog. Oh my God. Single payer bills. No, we need to get rid of single payer, man. Yo, my whole thing on the health insurance thing is that single payer health insurance and universal health care is actually how they increase healthcare costs. And if you want to look at a great example, look at what we talked about yesterday with the college loan system and how college tuitions have skyrocketed. Right? You find the same system among healthcare and the relationship between health insurance companies and healthcare providers, because it actually has the same effect to the end user as the loan system does regarding college. So guys, if you look at different countries, Mexico, etc., yo, the drugs are so cheap, you just go and you buy them right over there. Like it's a totally different ball game. I think the way that we're doing it is completely wrong. In fact, I think we should get rid of health insurance altogether. I think if we got rid of health insurance altogether, our healthcare would actually be way cheaper. I know that's a controversial issue. But our opinion. But you guys let me know what y'all think. Because I'm interested to hear from y'all, man. Wow, I really went on this one. Yo, let me know what you think, guys. Please check out any of these videos over here on the left. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next segment.